So in the last one, we showed that Dorian does not have to sound medieval or like it's in some kind of fantasy kind of genre film score. We made it kind of jazzy. So in this one, we're going to take the concept of Dorian's the light minor and disprove that. And we're going to let Stravinsky help us out here, because I want to... Years ago, I would have never, well, said that Dorian was actually a dark mode, but it can be. And it took studying someone like Stravinsky to realize, wait a minute, this is actually a very tense kind of mode. So the general consensus, well, it can be. The general consensus, it's a very light mode, light minor, like this. Especially if I do it like this. Okay. So it sounds very light, not really dark like harmonic minor or Aeolian, but those are stereotypes too. Here's the Stravinsky part. So that definitely does not sound like light minor. It sounds very kind of tense. And here's what's going on. So minus my bad piano playing, which I'm not a keyboard player, I'm a guitar player. We got this really low E flat minor chord, okay, with this add 9 kind of feel. And then he goes right into parallel fifth movement. You could actually consider this a F minor flat 9 sus4, and then a G flat major 7th, and an A flat 13, no third, but that's overkill. I consider this texture over texture with the parallel fifths. One texture on the below, one texture above. But it's using E flat Dorian. Thus dispelling the myth that Dorian's a light minor. That does not sound light. So we're going to use A Dorian because we did it in the last video. So we're going to create some tense moods. Maybe we'll choose the 9, the 3rd, and the 13th or something. Okay. Like that. You could pulse on it, you could arpeggiate it. That does not sound very pleasant. You could pulse it like this. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just create a pulse first. So you could, if you're a film composer, you could use Dorian as an action cue. So that does not sound very pleasant. It doesn't sound like light minor. So I'm going to create a slow moving thing. Again, does not sound very light. Sounds rather serious and dark, okay? Sounds serious, tense, and dark, and I could keep repeating that. So, let's take these notes, this group of notes here, and then add that little open fifth A. Doesn't sound very light, but I'm still using Dorian, okay? You could do stuff like that, I mean, as part of your piece of music. What I'm concentrating on here now, the trick is these minor second areas and 9th chords like that, which inverted is that minor second. Stuff like this, those places where the tension occurs, the tritones, you start messing around with those, even over Dorian, it starts to sound tense. So it kind of dispels the myth that Dorian is a light minor, because that's not always the case. And we've discovered in the last video that it could also sound jazzy and like a little groove, like a fun little groove. But so now we have tense Dorian, and Stravinsky helped us see that with his little segment of his piece from the Rite of Spring there. One thing to take note of is that anytime you're messing with minor scales, the more you mess with these tense kind of notes, these minor seconds and their inversions, the 9s and whatnot, in this kind of fashion, in the tritones and whatnot, whether it's Aeolian, Phrygian, whatever, it actually does produce a lot of tension and a lot of unease. So, and if you never resolve them too, that's even better.